Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with the lovely, the talented Suzanne Bandick. Today, we are going to talk about the stories that we tell and how they affect not only, I wouldn't say affect, how they really create our success or our lack of success. And equally, if not more importantly, how we experience the business, right? I would just about guarantee if you're listening to this on your smartphone and you have food in the refrigerator and more than one pair of clothes in your closet, and you're ambulatory and just can get up and move about the earth, probably half of the world would change places with you and give a left kidney to do so. So the stories that we tell ourselves not only create the outcome, but equally, if not more important, they create how we experience that, right? We might be miserable thinking, I got a bad review or this employee quit. And there might be somebody who is losing a kid for lack of a $15 antibiotic shot, right? The story he or she would tell about your scenario is really different than the story. So the stories are not just important on the outcome, but they're also important on how we experience it. And I'm having not been on my deathbed, God willing yet. I'd imagine we look back, it won't be so much did we get to the destination as how did we experience it. So I want to make sure. Two birds, one story. Suzanne, let's rock that. Oh, and of course it's Suzanne. So I'm 98% confident there is going to be a simple 3-step process to work through this. Suzanne, don't let us down, lady.
Thanks, Mike. Beautiful intro.
One of my favorite things about Suzanne is sometimes I give really good intros and sometimes it's me just being a lunatic. And every time she's like, thanks, Mike. That was really good. So I never know which is which and it might be better.
Okay, topic. The stories we tell and how they create our life.
Hmm.
Sometimes our stories serve us, which is wonderful. It leads to a fantastic present and an amazing future. Sometimes our stories don't serve us. And they come from two places. One, we look back and we say, well, I failed here, or this happened here, and it wasn't what I wanted. And obviously, it's the way it's always going to be. We keep repeating it, makes it more of our reality. Or we kind of look into the future, which, folks, the future isn't written yet. And we say, oh, well, I'm going to go to the fear and loss. This may happen. And we start to internalize it as a real story, even though it hasn't happened yet. So I'd like to give a 3-step process. And Mike, I'd like to just cover the 3 steps and then we can do a discussion. And that way they stay all together and then we'll review them again at the end of the call because I think it's important to figure out if our stories serve us because they're going to create our reality and our future life.
I love that plan. Hit us with all 3. We'll talk about it and then we'll summarize again at the end just so everyone gets it.
Thank you. So number 1, we have to ask, what do I desire to accomplish? What's my goal? So it could be something, I'm going to say smallish in that I want a fantastic team of cleaners. Thank you very much. Can I just get a great team of cleaners? Or it could be something like I want to hit $50,000 revenue a month or 100 or whatever the number is, right? So we start with the goal. State the goal. Number 2, identify your thoughts around the goal. This is probably the biggest part of it. Because if we're telling a story that, yeah, right. Oh, I'm going to say I'm going to have this, but I don't believe it's possible. We need to ask, what are our expectations? So again, we need to identify our thoughts around the goal. What are our expectations? And then number 3, if the story serves us, if our expectations are great, of course I can do this. Keep it. I don't even care if you think it's true for everybody. If you feel it's true for you and it serves you, keep it. But sometimes in number 3, we need to rewrite our story. And that's where we can talk more about this. So we can start at number 1 if you like, Mike.
Gosh, I really, really, really like this, Suzanne. I kind of fought the mindset stuff and was predominantly just tell me what to do and how to do it for many, many moons to my detriment. And I like this because it's something that even not woo woo Mike, logical, just tell me what to do, Mike, is like, this all makes really good sense. So I like this because I think it appeals to the people that are a little more tuned into how important beliefs are. And I think it's pragmatic enough. It speaks to people that are a little less in tune with that. So start with a goal. What do I want? So important. So important. I would say my wife, who's delightful, not particularly interested in business. She's super artistic, got all these other skills. And yet I still talk business with her because A, she tolerates it, and B, she's really good, or she's very wise and I trust her opinion. A lot of where she starts me at with, if you're coaching someone else, what would you say? Which I hate, but it always gets a good feedback. And what is it you want? So just having another human ask that, and as much as I love my bride, if I was smart, I could ask myself that anytime. The big thing is just be real with yourself. So a lot of times we sanitize the answer to be like what we think our parents or our spouse or some other human has just trained us. This is just between us. You don't have to tell that other person any of it, right? You can just be real. Like I remember, this has changed, but when I was a kid, I'm like, I didn't want to be like, a lot of our people are like, oh, I don't need mansions or fancy cars, or I just want this. And if that's really who they are, that's fine. There's nothing, you don't have to want any of that. But if you really do want it, just say it. It's okay. Right. And that's where we get into number two, which is identify your thoughts and expectations around a goal. So if you feel weird about it, then let's fight it out with ourselves. Right. Like, I don't want a fancy car. That's greedy. I think I really do want a fancy car. Okay, is it really greedy? What does that mean? What does it have to mean? What could it mean? So I love that one just flows rightly into two. And again, just be honest with yourself, right? Like I think we want to sometimes sugarcoat it and be like, no, I don't really want this. Or like people will say like, I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind being in the field. And what they're really saying is I'm too afraid to commit to going all out of the field. So I'll just say I like we just play all these kooky games with ourselves to settle. We talk ourselves down. We're negotiating against ourselves really effectively. And we work ourselves down from the life that we want to this thing that we think isn't too scary. And it's like, well, why is that scary? And is the fear worth it? Maybe I don't want that. If this, so again, I don't have any really, last thing I give, and I'm just going to turn over to you because I'm really a fan of simple things that have high leverage, which is what you just laid out. That third piece, when you said, if the story serves us, keep it. I'm like, that makes sense. Then I was thinking, and if it doesn't serve us, obviously we get rid of it. But it's very hard to get rid of things, right? Like I've never smoked, but if I've heard, if you want to stop smoking and get rid of that, you don't just quit. That's really difficult. You replace it with running or eating carrots, or people do a pat. Like that replacing is so much more powerful than just stop it, Suzanne. Stop thinking about that. Don't think about black and white zebras running through the bayou because you're immediately thinking of that, or standing on their hind legs. But if I said, think about a kangaroo in Australia, so much easier. And then she's by default not thinking about the first because we've given her something. So I really like the power in the rewriting. So honestly, Suzanne, I just want to say to the audience, as someone who's a little more on the pragmatic side and has a hard time sometimes implementing a lot of this stuff, I found I do this, I don't say naturally, but after getting beat in the head quite often, I've kind of learned this, and I've seen other successful people learn it. And it's nice when I hear someone articulate it. I'm like, God dang it. Why didn't someone just tell me that 10, 20 years ago? I could have just done it on purpose then without all the pain and suffering. So I'm just kind of fanboying here, Suzanne, and I'll stop and turn it back over to you. But I love every piece of that.
Awesome. Okay, so I think one and two are pretty self-explanatory. We're very quick whenever we say a goal, we're very quick to identify our thoughts around it. I
Good
think,
and bad. I think we might hyper focus on one to the exclusion of the other.
yes, yes. And I think it's important that the important part of number two is to acknowledge what are our thoughts. We have to ask ourselves because otherwise they're invisibly creating a reality that we may or may not want.
Can we do a little role play? Can I be one of our
Please.
clients?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just walk me through it? And I'm going to pretend I don't know the framework we're going to use. I just recorded a podcast with Lindsay. I don't know if it'll come out before or after this, but it's really good. And talking about somebody had asked, I've got a lot of net 30 clients in commercial, and it's really rough. It's killing me, but I'm afraid, no, they're not going to do. What do I do? How do I fix it? So if you want to know the tactical of that, go listen to that podcast. But let's just say I'm that. What that person really needed is this conversation we're going to have, Suzanne. So I'm hoping whoever listened to that listens to this because I gave the tactical, but this is so much better. So let's just pretend I'm a client because I know how they think and how they respond. And obviously you're an excellent coach. And I think we can people can live vicariously through that if that's okay.
Okay. So related to that, Mike, what's your goal?
It's a really good question, Suzanne. My goal is not to have to struggle for payroll or even my own personal expenses every month.
Okay. So, what do you desire to do?
Well, I think if people, all right, so just I'm gonna jump out of role play and say what they're gonna say, and I don't want to go down this because I would be
And
like,
I know you're just pretending, Mike. I know this isn't you.
it's been me 20 years ago. I've been through all this crap. I know the pain. I have absolutely lived this life. Not living it now, but I've lived it. And that's why I fight so hard for you guys not to. So typically what the client is going to say is, if I can sell my way out of it. So what I want is to get a bunch more clients, but I don't want to get off the track. So I know that that's what the person would say. I'm going to be a little more self-aware, a little more business savvy and go, what I'd like, Suzanne, is not to have to beg for my own money, not to have to worry about if this guy's going to pay or when this guy's going to pay. I'd like to just focus on being a really good cleaning company and not have to beg for my own money.
Perfect. Okay. So, we're looking at a focus of asking the client to pay in advance.
I'm afraid to do that. They're all going to quit.
That's a story that you have. Let's talk about rewriting the story.
Okay, just so
Has
you know, it could be a story, but I know they're going to quit, Suzanne. I just know it. They've even told me. I'm being inclined. Sorry, girl. I feel so bad even doing this, but I gotta do it. This is for all you commercial people out there. I'm fighting for you guys, making Suzanne work for a living. I'm telling you, Suzanne, it's fine. We'll do whatever you want. I want to be coachable, but I'm telling you, they've all told me they'll quit if they only pay. You don't understand. It's the government. It's filling your own niche. They only pay net 30, Suzanne.
Okay. Let's start with one client.
Okay. Which one?
Let's start with the one that's the worst problem, the highest cogs.
Okay. So we'll do him, but I'm telling you, he's going to quit.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm gonna say? Mike impersonating client here.
I'll be Mike, the client. I could be Mike twice. It's fine. I'll still be Mike.
Mike. What I'm gonna say here is that if you go into a negotiation and a request like that, and you have the feeling that they're gonna quit, they will quit.
So what do I
Guaranteed.
do?
Okay, so let's talk about the possibility of them appreciating you and how you approach it and appreciating that they want to keep you and they're willing to do whatever they need to do to keep you. What about that as a possibility?
Mike Campion here. Do you ever listen to the podcast and go, this is great information. I just wish I could actually get it implemented. And I wish I could get some help. Well, we do that. If you would like either myself or my team's help actually coming up with a plan that's specialized to you and your business, because with these podcasts, obviously we have to be very general and we can only go 20 minutes at a time. If you'd like to jump on a call with myself or my team, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. We'll jump on a call. There's no charge. And we'll help you get some absolute clarity around exactly what to do next and how to do it. The reason we don't charge for these calls is the plan that we come up with, people want help implementing that. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about it. And if it's not, that's okay too. We're happy to just help you come up with a plan. So if you want to translate the information you're learning here into an actual plan that can change your life, give us a ring, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. Love to either myself or have one of our coaches walk you through and actually personalize the content you get here to where you're at with your business. Talk soon.
That feels better. And I know they like me and I think they do want to keep me. I don't know if they'll do whatever they need to do, but I do think they would prefer we do a good job. And I do think they like me. I don't know if they're going to pay in advance, but I do think they do want to keep me and that would be their preference.
Okay, so let's build on that and let's work on the possibility that they're going to say yes because they appreciate the work they do. And you know what? In commercial, to replace you, it's time and money, right? It's going to cost them time and money. They know you, they know what you do, they like you. Really, for a small increase or a large increase, it may be better for them to not have to go and interview a whole bunch of other cleaners. That's time and money.
So before I was kind of like 100% they're going to quit. Now that you've helped me think about a different way, I do see I don't know if it's 50-50, 70-30, but
Right.
it's not zero, but I'm
Right.
still afraid. What if they do quit?
And this is what I learned. So, for instance, 16-year-old Suzanne, who read all these self-help books, would have talked to someone like yourself and said, well, just do it. I mean, it's right. What do you mean it's bad? It's good. And I would give no one a bridge because in my mind, I didn't see the need.
Right.
Um, More mature Suzanne now
That younger, and I love
realizes
Suzanne, but that younger Suzanne would have upset me as a client. Mike would have been
exactly.
like, I hate this
Oh,
chick.
people just wanted to just slap me.
I don't know if I go that far, but I would want to
Seriously,
leave.
that's what I say. Just deck me because they'd be like, they'd, I had a frame of reference. I wasn't explaining the frame of reference, but
Right.
you cannot go from this is bad to this is good without a bridge. So this is what I always suggest. Take one thought that could be a possibility. I'm not going to tell you it's written in stone, but err to the wealth and abundance mindset. This is a possibility. This is another possibility. Let's build on the possibilities so that you feel better, so that you can actually go out and do what you need to do. And that's part of rewriting your story,
Just
right?
even
Like,
a 2 minute conversation, getting me from there's no universe in which this is going to happen to okay, I still have concerns. I'm still worried, but now I see there is an alternate universe that could exist and may exist. Like that's in 60 seconds. That's a big deal.
right. So we're opening the door a crack. That's what we do.
And then we can layer in tactical stuff, right? So I love the word that used bridge because that's really what you did for me, Suzanne. I didn't see a bridge from here to there. So you helped me get clear on where here is. And I said it. I'm miserable. I can't pay payroll. But like, so you just allowed me to be articulate of where I'm standing now, which I didn't like. Because if we hadn't done that, and I wasn't clear on why here is so bad, I wouldn't be interested in what you're talking about. And then you helped me get clear on where I want to be. Oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about money and I don't have to beg and whatever. So I saw it, but that chasm, I couldn't. But they're all going to quit, Suzanne. So I'm just stuck. So I'm clear. I hate it here, and I'm clear that's the promised land, but there's no way here. And you're like, what if this bridge was there? I'm like, okay. And I don't know if I trust to walk on it, but at least I see it. Like that's a real gift to just be like, here's a different potential reality. And then again, I know what you were probably going to do next is reframe with more questions. Well, what would have to happen for them to stay, or what happened if they did quit? What would that, like we could still kind of, the bridge was light. We could still fill it in with more stuff.
Right. So it's easier when you have a third person. Like we
Mm-hmm.
get in our head and we spin our wheels because we
Mm-hmm.
think the same thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
A third person, it's a little bit easier for them to come in, like I just did with you, Mike, in that scenario and say, well, what about this?
Kindness and curiosity, by the way. If you're wanting to be that person for someone else, Suzanne was very kind and she's very curious. She didn't judge and she didn't just tell me what time it was like young Suzanne.
Thank goodness. What what I would encourage everyone to do is ask the question, what if my thought wasn't so? Right? What if? Because then you can kind of do it for yourself. You open a door. What if there was a reality where this wasn't the case? I'm going to lose all my clients. And then it helps open your own door for you to explore some options. I'm not telling you that you have to decide, oh, this is my new reality. But the more you repeat the story, I guarantee it will become your reality. It's repeating a new story by choice. Okay. And it does not, I really want to be clear on several things. One, it does not matter if you think it's true for everybody.
Because
If
almost
you,
nothing is. Like gravity, there's a couple things, but very few things that are true for everybody, certainly in the same degree.
right, if you work out that this can be true for you, you're good to go. Okay. So for instance, one of my beliefs is everything always works out for me. Okay. Is that true for everybody? No. Is it my belief? Yeah, I created it as a belief because I figure whatever happens to me, I can spin it. I can work with it. I can ask for what I want. Everything always works out for me. I live by that. You would be surprised how often everything works out for me.
And the
It's
crazy thing is for the skeptics, like I know you, does everything work out in your life every time 100%? No, that's insane. Do things tend to work out better for you than everybody else I know? Yeah, I'm going to tell you how diabolical this woman is. She casually I love Suzanne. She casually mentioned one time this, I forget exactly what it is, a plate as she was traveling or
uh-huh.
like a license plate or something that said, what can you say it so I don't butcher it, Suzanne?
It's sitting right here at my desk. I don't expect everything to be handed to me. You can just set it down wherever.
So she told me that, and I didn't realize how meta this was. I just like Suzanne, and I'm like, oh, it'd be so cute if we got that for her. Not even thinking of the content of the thing. Just I like Suzanne. And I'd like to please her because she's just an amazing woman. I don't get to tell her how much I appreciate her non-verbally as often as I'd like. So I literally actually, my wife, because she's a peach, got it, and we held that god dang thing for 3 months because Suzanne was traveling, and I whatever. It was just I couldn't mail it to her, get it to her. So it's the thing I brought her. So just set it anywhere you like. We literally she came from I don't know Mexico or Canada, wherever she was at the moment, to Florida. I came from Scottsdale to wherever I was to Florida. We both flew thousands of miles, and I literally brought it to her and set it at her feet just because she had that belief and she didn't tell me, Mike, you need to share this belief or you need to make this happen. And this, none of that happened. She just shows up as Suzanne. And by golly, if I wasn't a willing and happy pawn, I'm pleased this bunch should be a part of the story. So I just want to encourage you. No, nothing's true for everybody, even gravity. There's people that are on Earth, right? Like in the International Space Station, it's not true for them. So, but if I thought everything always worked out poorly and it was out to get me, how different would my life be? Even if sometimes people were not out to get me and that wasn't the truth all the time, it would become my truth 200%, 500% more than Suzanne's. I don't know, but a non-nominal amount. So one last thing, and I'm gonna let Suzanne wrap us any way sees fit. On the curious and kind, the reason I brought that up is twofold. One, when you're looking to confide in somebody, those are really good traits. A lot of people just want to tell you what to do and try and solve your problem that they may or may not be qualified for, and you may not even be ready to solve it. But when Suzanne said there's not always a third party, you want to do this yourself, I have found those are not effective. The 3 steps of getting clear on what you want, identifying your thoughts and expectations, and identifying if the story you're telling serves you, and if it does, keep it. If it doesn't, replace it. We don't offer ourselves curiosity or kindness. We get judgmental. We get not curious. Like again, the role-playing Mike was like, nope, no one's ever going to do it. That couldn't be less curious. And I had no thoughts, no questions, just stupid, non-true statements that I gave energy to. So whether you're picking a third person to confide in or walk through, or you're the only person, at least treat yourself with a kindness and curiosity. You'll get a lot further with this particular set of steps than with not that. All right. I feel like I got preachy. Suzanne, you finish this up any way you see fit.
You, Mike, that was so well said. Thank you. The gift of kindness and curiosity. So often we might give that to other people, but we don't give it to ourselves.
Gosh.
And I want to encourage everybody to just be aware of those stories. Sometimes we fight very hard for a story that doesn't serve us. And I want to encourage everyone that we actually hold the pen to write our own stories. And in closing, what we're doing here is we're changing the narrative from life happens to us to, wait a minute, I get to choose how I respond and how I create everything. Life doesn't have to happen to you. You can choose the path and the destination that you want.
And if I can be so bold, if I had to pick a 1-sentence definition of entrepreneurship as I have experienced it, it is taking the vision that we have in our mind and making the world comply. Like all the great people that have done stuff have just taken ridiculous ideas they probably got mocked for and just said, nope, I see it. This is how it is. That their story was so strong and so unbendable. Again, think what you will about Elon and his current endeavors. Dude wants to repopulate the earth on Mars. Goodness gracious, is that a story, right? And he's got thousands of people and billions, if not trillions of dollars moving towards that goal just because he told a story. And I'll be honest with you, I would have said, there's no gut. And I'm not a rocket scientist by any stretch. But 10 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, might as well waste your time learning how to frickin' what's it called? Levitate or be one place, or, that's not possible. Now I'm like, I don't know if Elon, maybe, who knows? Right. So that story can be wildly powerful. And just like Suzanne said, we can rewrite it. And if one's not serving us, we can let it go. The flip side, when we've got a story that we want and is important to us and someone tells us it's stupid, be okay going, maybe I let that person go and keep the story. Just maybe. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. I would encourage guys and gals, as opposed to just going on to the next thing or the next thing in your life, or even the next podcast, take a minute and just walk through it. Pick something that you know you've wanted and maybe were afraid to talk about with yourself or with anybody else, and just get clear on what you really want. And if it's to get out of cleaning or to have $1 million business or something that you, even if it's something, especially if it's something you've tried 5 times before for 5 years and haven't gotten it, well, that just means for 5 years you've been doing A, B, and C and you've gotten D, because A, B, and C always gets D. But what you want is Z. So you got to try X and Y, and X and Y will get you there just fine, right? It's not that you're the problem. What you've been doing is just getting you the result of that. And if you wanted D, you have been doing the perfect things, but you don't. You want Z. So get clear on what you want. Identify your thoughts around those, and if number one is I've tried this 1,000 times, cool. Well, a bridge might be, okay, are there other people that have gotten there? Yeah. Are there other people that have maybe better opportunities than I have in some areas, but probably less than others? Yeah, probably. Cool. That's a bridge. That's a story you could tell. And rewrite it and just figure out, what would I have to do? Right. And if I can, without being wildly self-serving, we have a whole team of people that are really good at helping people. If you want a new spouse or lots of things, we can't help. But if you want a cleaning company that behaves and serves you and gives you the life that you want financially, whether it's us or somebody else, call and get some help. Right. And maybe if you're like, I got help before, well, call somebody else, do it differently, be a better student. There's a way you can do it. So I just want to encourage you, rewrite the story. And then if we can give a bonus step forward, take some action. Don't just rewrite the story, but like, well, based on that new story, I have to be a new character. You saw me role play, right? I flipped a switch. I was Mike, the coach, who was hopefully not a terrible pain in the butt. And then Mike, Suzanne's client, was kind of a pain in the neck, and we switched it back. I just had a different story. One story is I got to be this, another story is I got to be that. So you get to be who you want, pick your story, have some fun, and reach out, Mike@growmycleaningcompany.com. Let me know if you walk through that and how it worked. I'd love to hear your story and encourage you along the way. Thanks for your time and attention. We'll talk soon. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge, and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it, and we sure appreciate your time and attention.